What I'm about to show you is Tendon Enthesis anchor balls. They are everywhere in creatures' bodies, and they anchor these little straps to the muscle and bone and so forth to pull back and forth. They are anchors. Now, they're extremely strong, and they are balls, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands of them in every creature. And those little stalks come up for a very short distance, and they glue to the balls, and then there are little fibers that run off. They're cellular sort of fibers. Now, I'm going to show you how Mudfossils shows this quite elegantly. And a shot came in from Scott Wiles, one of our great heroes, veteran, injured in, I believe, Afghanistan. Sent me these pictures. Very, very thrilled, I can see, because he sent me about 20 pictures in a row. I love you, Scott. and amazing, amazing pictures, as you will see. This is the tendon ball strap I got from Scott Wiles, who sent this to me yesterday. And this is the tendon ball at the bottom here, and this is the little gluey strap that glues the strap to the tendon ball. I showed you the tendon balls and their ligament balls, their attachment anchors all over the body. Now that's just a very short section that goes into a fibrous section. It's called the abrupt transitions. That's an abrupt transition, that's an abrupt transition, and I'm going to show you the ones that I have here, or the one I have here. This is the tendon ball anthesis that I have here, similar to Scott's. Now that is that little gluey spot right between where the ball of his sat, and then that little gluey spot, and then you came up with these fibers, and then that attached to another abrupt transition, and then it went into all of this fibrous looking stuff. And that's what I have here in my same one. So this is the one that Scott Wiles sent me, and this is the tendon enthesis point right here. That's the ball. This is a abrupt transition, just like I showed on my other one. This is a stalk between, and then there's another abrupt transition, and then it goes into this fibery looking stuff. And I have the exact same stuff on my tendon ball that I showed here. And this is the tendon ball right here that I was showing in the microscope. And let's see if I can get a good shot at it here. And as a matter of fact, I'd like to have somebody tell me where they think this how it got to be this toasty looking surface here, because I have my own understanding of how this happened. That is the tendon ball that we're dealing with. And the stalks come up over, and this is where the stalk is right there. That's the stalk that I showed. And that is the little tiny abrupt transition. Then you get that those two little stripes there. I don't know if they're visible. And then you get into the next abrupt transition. Then it goes into all of this stretchy material. Well, it's really not that stretchy, but it's flexible. Let me put it that way. And that is the ball, and that really is a stalk. That's how the stalks come out, and those holes are feeded with blood supplies and so forth. Now, and that's what it is when they turn solid from giants. I mean, that's what it is. And this is what a tendon ball looks like. That's the stuff that it was sitting on top of, and this is that fluffy little gooey stuff that I said is a glue, and then it turns into another abrupt transition here. So you have that first abrupt transition, second abrupt transition, then it runs off into that fibrous looking stalk, and that's what both of the things that I showed are. All right, there's a stone ball cluster. That's the same. That's a tendon enthesis area, and these are all the stone balls. They anchor. There were straps. The straps erode, as you saw. They're very cellular. These stone balls did get very large, and when they crack open, they're full of some kind of sand, it appears. They're all over the earth, and they anchor skin, they anchor muscles, they anchor bones, they anchor everything to everything else. And they appear to have this hollow core, which, well, it's not hollow, but it's filled with, I believe, silicates, sand of some sort. and they are, I believe, these are the source of geodes, and they are also the source of chert and flint. I believe that's what this is on the outside. And they break into these cellular matrices, and these contents of these little cavities, these little blocky cavities around this outside, will empty, and it'll leave like a skeleton around, and I'll show you that. Alright, this is what you're going to find inside these stone balls. That normally would have been completely coated. Depending upon the chemistry that they're in, what will erode, and this one, the surface eroded, started to show this structure. And I'm going to show you another one that is more eroded. This one came in from Lee Simpson. That's another stone ball. You see these holes in here? Those holes are structurally held some kind of material, which I believe it was the chert or the flint, that type of thing. And in this particular chemistry, that was eaten away. It was probably in some geomorphic condition, solvents and heat and so forth. Because almost nothing affects sand and silicons other than hydrofluoric acid, I believe. So it's a mystery how all these things happen, but you know, that's what it's all about. It's a mystery. It's a new mystery. You know, it's not solved. Nothing here's solved. We're trying to figure this out. Skin has all these tiny little balls and tiny little straps, and they weave all over the place, and they allow the skin to be pulled back and forth. The ball is the anchor. The flexible straps move around on your skin. This was skin at one time. That was skin. These balls now, they just released this 3-4 months ago. They call this interstitium. I've been posting about this for years. That I can see all these things in my Mudfossils. They're so obvious. I mean, you can see them like they're gigantic anatomical copies of what was originally alive. So that's all I can say. This came in from Lily Lavender. You see that little spot there? There was a cord coming out of there which attached to that ball. This is another one of those balls. And you see that stripe around there? I'm going to show you something that you might find interesting. A lot of them have that stripe. This is Iapetus. It's the moon around Saturn. You see those little round spots in that thing there? I don't know what it looks like to you, but it looks like to me it's a tendon ball. Eerily familiar. And you just saw how the abrupt transitions in the balls run from the strap, from the ball to the strap. These are the balls. They come in clusters. They attach to straps. The straps pull back and forth because they are attached to muscles. These balls are supposed to be anchored so that this strap can pull against an anchor spot. Now that is ripped out from that anchor. And that's why they have that seam around them, because they only implant a certain distance. And that one's pulled out. They come in clusters. They are little tiny in us, and they are gigantic in the past. And possibly everywhere else. As above, so below. Only bigger and smaller. Once again, tendon strap. Most of them have eroded. This one here is broken right off. There's a stalk. It went down to one of these here, wherever. This one hasn't broken yet. These are the balls. This would have been the mat. The mat has eroded. That's the stripes that would have been in the balls. That's a ball, that's a ball, that's a ball, that's a ball. They're over here. They come in clusters. That strap will erode. That person better be careful. That's the fibrous stuff. And that would have moved and flexed. It's not real stretchy, but it can move. It's flexible. That is stock solid unless they pull out, which is the one I showed you a minute ago.